Hello, you're welcome to the Ed Innovator series, and I'm so delighted to have you on this program with me today. So basically, last week we looked at the 21st century model, and this week we are looking at the learning environment of the 21st century model. So, the Ed Innovator series is simply a program that is dedicated to ensuring that we push out innovative teaching practices that parents, teachers, and schools can learn from. The essence is to ensure that we are churning out graduates that have the necessary 21st century skills and are well positioned for future work in today's globally changing world. And yes, the world is globally connected and rapidly changing. So it is of the essence that we ensure our children are positioned right. So I talked about a law I coined. Can you remember it? The law of 21st century learning? Yes. So I put together something that simply states thus: that the quality of innovative teaching practices is directly proportional to the outcome of students in a learning environment. And it's also dependent on some conditions which should be met. Some of these conditions include: 1, the school system reengineering; 2, innovative teaching practices; 3, the future skill set of our children. So this is very paramount to ensure that even while we apply the 21st century skills, that our children outcomes come out beautifully well, so long as we have the right culture, the right systems in place. So how do children learn in today's world? What are the tools they utilize? Day to day, we utilize electronic devices. We use it to communicate, to transact businesses, to stay informed, to get information. Things have changed. Technology has had a massive impact on us, on our daily lives. So if then it has had such a huge impact on us, don't you think it is time that we begin to look deeply into the educational system of our children? Don't you think that it needs to change completely? We need a total re-engineering, a total transformation of our educational system. We need to begin to look at it critically. Unfortunately, our educational system today is deeply rooted in solving problems of the past and not of today or of the future. Teachers need to begin to focus more on developing open-ended tasks that require digital tools for solution. Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. And the truth is that in our hands as educators lies the future generation. And the onus lies on us to ensure that they are prepared for the future and that we tap the resources to ensure that the right skill set is built and well developed. So now, what are the skills required to ensure that our children are actually future ready? Every 2 years, information doubles, and we are currently experiencing information explosion. Whether you like it or not, check the internet and you will understand what I mean. Climate change. Everything is changing, and guess what? For our children to be able to survive in the future, in 2030, they would need to have and develop complex skills that will enable them to thrive. The truth remains that technology will not take away jobs. Technology will increase jobs, but do they have the right skill set to manage the magnanimity of the technology that would come in? The World Development Report of 2019 from the World Bank stated, machines are coming to take our jobs. This has been the concern for hundreds of years, at least since industrialization in the 18th century, where we had more of weaving. In fact, workers were being scared of being thrown out into the streets and began to be more productive. But guess what? Today, innovation and technology has come to disrupt the world. But yet we are even more prosperous than the havoc that it was expected to have caused. But now there is a new wave and rise of uncertainty as we begin to see innovation rapidly take over everything. What is the future of our children? We need resilient, lifelong learners that can adapt in any environment, that not just master content, but can also solve real world problems. We need children that will be able to assess information, that will be able to interpret it, that will be able to analyze it and evaluate it. Those are the kind of children we need to churn out. Not just children that can take in, but children that can create. Not just children that can work manually with their hands, but children that can give services. Because now we are beginning to move into the services area fully. And guess what? In the next few years from now, few years down the line, we will no longer need jobs that are manual. We will have fully automated jobs. Do you believe me? So what are the skills that our children require? They need skills like expert thinking. They need skills like thinking outside the box. They need skills like being knowledgeable about the world. They need skills like being able to solve multidisciplinary and real-world problems and open-ended problems, open-ended tasks. Those are the kind of children we need. Children that have the right people skills. Children that have teamwork skills. Those are the children that we need to churn out. How do we achieve this? Take a look at this infographic. It tells us that from infancy to adolescence, the brain of a child is at its peak and then begins to depreciate from about 29 till old age. And then the effort to actually learn increases from adolescence till old age. This tells you that you need, as an educator, to put in every effort to ensure that your child is getting the right teaching practices in the right learning environment. What we see in the educational system today is beautiful laptops, smart boards. Oh, this school is digitally savvy. Laptops, desktops, tablets, they have it all. But guess what? They still apply the conveyor belt approach, where they still stand in front of the classroom, they still direct students, they still instruct students, telling them what to do from start to finish, and it's directed all through from the teacher-centered approach. That is what is being applied. So then, how then do we ensure that we have the proper learning environments for our children to thrive? Now, the 21st century learning environment should look like this. Should be inquiry-based, should be project-based, should be problem-based. Inquiry-based in the sense that the children are the ones that construct their own questions. There is effective relationship between the teacher and the student. There is a certain level of bonding between them. The learning is self-directed. The children get to construct their own questions. They get to think out scenarios. They get to solve problems. They get to interact with others. They get to collaborate. There's a form of shared distribution going on among the students. That is what our learning environment should look like. Our learning environment should have, a child-centric approach where the child is doing more of the talking, doing more of the collaboration, and where learning is taking place effectively. So even as educators, what are the skills we need to possess? So one of them is ensuring that we stay informed and we have the right knowledge. Another is ensuring that we have the right ICT tools at our disposal. Another is to ensure that we apply differentiated instruction in the classroom. And lastly, we need to also ensure that we apply productive relationships between our students. Okay, now I would like to charge you, educators, we need to collectively, I'm talking to myself too, begin to ensure that we bridge the gap, because students are beginning to notice that there is a huge disconnect between the school and the world. And that is why they tell you that what's the need of me going to school when I'm going to learn this anyway? No, the school environment should be for preparing them for the future and giving them the right skills, the right people skills, the right skill sets as regards teamwork, collaboration, shared distribution, communication. These are the tools, these are the skills we need to equip them with. And when they grow, they will thank you for it. All right, so I would like to thank you so very much for joining the Ed Innovator series today. I hope you learned a lot of things, and I would like you to take this back, and I can't wait to see you next week as we explore another topic that is so much interesting. I won't reveal now. See you next week, Saturday. Bye.